So now we will get into the regular meeting scheduled for this evening. I'll call to order the meeting of the Town of Sevastopol Board of Supervisors for Monday, July 22 at 7:10. I'll ask that you rise and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll have a roll call.
Still here.
Supervisor Stavenus,
Here.
Supervisor Wolfel,
Here.
Chairman Zipper,
Here.
Supervisor Tice,
Here.
and Supervisor Weidman.
Here.
So we do have a quorum. All the members of the board are present. The next item would be the meet and greet and public participation. What we normally do, we'll introduce ourselves here at the desk, and then we'll go out in the audience and see who had nothing better to do with their time than to come to us. Linda, go ahead.
Linda Waite, Clerk Treasurer for the Town of Sevastopol.
Dick Weidman, Supervisor.
Chuck Tice, Supervisor.
Leo Zipper is chairman.
Dan Wolfel, Supervisor.
John Stavenus, Supervisor.
Mike?
Ellen Sargent. Victoria Seritage. I'm here with League of Women Voters, and I have a little comment, public participation. Last meeting, when I was here as part of the League, I also was here prior to the meeting, and I heard a discussion going on about pesticide application and flags being in place, flags not being in place, whether it was important to have them there, the qualities, and the discussion concerned me. So after the meeting, I thought about it and I sought some additional help. And I called the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection. And they talked with me and listened and told me that the only way that I could hear back from them that there was, what the proper procedure was Sevastopol fully informed on how they should implement this procedure, and the supervisors know all the correct things to do. Was that I made my inquiry part of the record with DACCAT, so I had to leave my name and my address and my phone number, my contact information. That way, they assured me that they would contact the Board of Sevastopol, find out what happened, make sure everybody is on the right page, and get back to me. So I wanted to make sure that you're aware of that, because they have not contacted me yet, and I was hoping that there may be an update, because I see landscape application is item 10A on the agenda.
You are correct.
Thank you.
And we had blamed Supervisor Weidman for the call.
Our credit.
All right,
Supervisor.
we have one other member in the audience.
Justin McDonald, EMS Crew Chief.
All right, behind the camera is the one and only Letty Chuck, videographer for the town. Not to make light of what you're doing, but we do have it as an informational item and the people that make an appearance.
Now I'm back as the lead.
Okay, has the agenda been properly noticed?
Yes, it has been.
Then a motion would be to adopt the properly noticed agenda.
Move that we adopt the agenda July 22, 2013.
Second.
I don't see any particular item that's going to take any amount of time here. So. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Supervisors from June 22, 2013.
Move that we approve the minutes, July 17, 2013.
I'll second it on the basis that I went through it previously and there were no substantive changes to be made. In my meeting with the clerk, she assured me that everything was down verbatim. Good job.
Thank you.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Financial report, June 2013 is the budget and actual. If you want to take a look at page 1, it's not real healthy, folks. We do have some revenue coming. And then the transactions and the list by dates. So do we have a motion to approve and accept?
So move.
Motion by Dan, seconded by Chuck to approve. Questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 It was 4 out of 5, not 2.
And a frog, sorry. Aye.
Like,
John, is that so that you can see things more clearly now? We
yeah, because
put those spectaculars on? Okay, oral committee reports and committee minutes. Let's go to the Park and Rec Board meeting of May 29. The Plan Commission from June 13. And the Door County Coastal Byway Council minutes of June 6th. If there are no questions or objections, we'll accept them and place them on file. Hearing none, we'll move on. Do we have any oral committee reports? Chuck, did you have anything on
Tourism zone?
or the kiosk?
Yes.
Oh, the kiosk will be coming down there.
Yes.
Go ahead.
As of May 2013, we had 44 permitted properties in the town. That equates to 5,586 room nights per month, with 1,782 were rented out, equates to a 31.9% occupancy, which is pretty darn good for the area. Our total revenue collected, $226,142, with exceptions of 3,000 for a net of $223,142. The net tax on that is $12,272. 30% to the town is $3,682. That is a 3% rise in tourism year-to-date, which is doing good for the, it varied over the months. January was up 3.07, February was up 2.2, March was up 1.9, April 1.4, and May dropped to 0.4%. With the cold weather and that set in, things are really picking up now that June, July, August are coming in here. The numbers are expected to be fantastic.
The information you gave us for the
Was
month
May?
of June?
This is for the month of May.
May.
We're always
May,
3
I was
months
wondering.
behind.
All right.
If anybody's interested, I have the annual meeting report for June 20th, 2013 for the Door County Tourism Zone Commission. Gives all the statistics and things. I'm gonna ask Laddie, I don't know if you could put this paper report on your TV program, or I'll give you a copy.
What is it in the county? Is it up about 4% now or not? Total?
It's up 3% right now for the year. I said each month it varied back and forth. January came out real good, or January was down. February, March, and April are each up, and now down again in May, so. But by all indications, June, July, and August are really well, so.
Okay. Next item are licenses.
Leo, I got,
I'm sorry,
that's right.
go ahead.
Let it go this time, okay. Our next meeting for the Plan Commission is gonna be on August 14th, at 6 o'clock, it's a Wednesday. We have set the date for the public hearing, which is gonna be September 12th at 6 o'clock. And everybody that was touched by the Circle Mile, if their land is in there, they will be getting a mailing. Those will probably be going out August 26th or the 27th, one of those 2 days, so. Hopefully, everybody shows up at the
All right, you
hearing
gave
on the
me-
12th, so.
You gave me too many dates here. What's the
Our
first
plan,
one?
okay, our Plan Commission meeting is
Right.
August 14th at 6 o'clock, the regular meeting.
14 and 6.
Yep, the mailing will be going out August 26th or August 27th.
Those people affected, yeah.
The people that are affected will get a mailing, but it's open to anybody that would like to come. The hearing or the public meeting will be on September 12th.
Is it?
Okay, for those that aren't up to date with it, you want to explain what the hearing's all about and the mile radius that you're talking about?
We started out doing a subdivision plan, and it got a little complicated. So we ended up backstepping a little bit, and we are going to promote growth around the towns. So we, as a committee, we decided to find a center, draw a circle 1 mile around, and get input to see if everybody wants to, all the agricultural land that's in that area wants to be changed to a small estate. It's just a fact-finding right now, so if we find out that people are dead set against it, then we won't do anything with it. But if they're all for it, it would be advantageous for them to listen to our presentation.
Small
So-
estate is how big? 5 acre?
Small estate would be 5 acres, yes.
And how many people do you think are gonna be involved in this when you do a mailing, roughly? Any idea? 150?
I'd have to get the sheets out again, but I,
Probably about at least 100 property owners.
there's gonna be a couple hundred.
Yeah, over 100
Yeah.
property owners.
Because it's a mile from, the, did we use the laundromat, I think, from Valmy? And then we used, yeah, and then 1 mile out from the town of Sturgeon Bay, which a lot of
City.
that is in small estates already.
Could be standing room only meeting, so I'm thinking capacity-wise.
Oh,
You might wanna think about that.
yeah,
It's an informational meeting, and we want to get input and give people, why we're, reasons why we're, putting this forward. So we'll see what the reactions are.
right.
Okay, so it's the 1 mile area of Valmy and also,
Institute, and then a mile out from the,
so we have 3 areas.
3 areas, correct. A mile out from the border of Sturgeon Bay.
City limits.
City limits.
Okay. Okay, very well. Any other oral committee reports? License and permits would be next. This is a new item for us that we have had it in the past. Linda, you want to give us the what for on all this stuff?
Well, I just thought rather than including the zoning permits, the building permits in correspondence, this way they have their own separate category. If somebody sees something on the building or zoning permit, they could bring it back for the following agenda. So, under licenses and permits, we have independent inspections, billing recap for June 2013. We have the Door County Planning and Zoning permits issued for the town of Sevastopol for June 2013. We have a list of operator license that I've issued so far for the period ending June 30th, 2014. These are operator licenses of bartender license. So these people have verified that they have completed the proper training and are licensed and paid the fee. Also included are temporary Class B, we call them picnic license, for several events that are coming forward or have taken place. This past Saturday, Door Devils Motorcycle Club had an event at their motorcycle grounds on Matthew Road. They are also having an open house this Saturday, June 20th, on Matthew Road. And then, of course, the Northeastern Wisconsin Antique Power Association at the Thresherie Grounds, August 16th through August 18th. Also included is the quarterly report of the sanitary permits issued by the Door County Sanitarians Department. In lieu of our holding tank permitting process, I now request these on a quarterly basis. And then also the Supervisor Tice had mentioned earlier the permit holders for room tax. So that is the list of people within the town of Sevastopol that are renting rooms on a short-term basis. And also the list of properties that have been removed from the short-term rental, either due to not renting or owner occupied, or just should not be on the list. And that's it.
You have one comment on the Door County Tourism Zone permits. I stated earlier, we had 44 permits. That was the month of May. Since that time, looking at the list Linda put here, there's almost double that. Those are all the persons that only rent during the summer months. So they're permit holders, but they don't operate until June, July, and August. So they are included in the list at this point.
So they only report for the months or time that they're open?
Correct. They still are permitted annually, but they are only in operation a certain number of months.
Okay. Questions or comments? Okay, we thank you. The commercial code compliance and Sargent and Peterson auto repair businesses. Is there for an update or a status report? And we did receive a memo from the building inspection service. You would not be able to attend the meeting tonight. Apparently Jeff Peterson specified in the letter sent by his attorney, Victor Dana Brooks, on June 25, that he was going to wind down his automotive repair business as soon as practicable. And I do not see this as a means of compliance unless he is considering reasonably practicable as a few weeks or a month or two. A time limit may need to be discussed or specified. Mike Sargent and Melanie are here tonight. Contacted me last week after July 12. After the letter was sent to them, he and his wife are evaluating the cost of compliance, are also looking at existing auto garages to operate out of. They stated they're looking to repair shop and institute in some of the city of Sturgeon Bay. They did not indicate a time frame, and I did not specify. Would like to hear back from them through within the next couple of weeks or a month. And I did talk to them before the meeting. They indicated that they are trying to comply. Apparently, the rules and regulations on a commercial venture are a little bit different than the zoning. Home occupancy is one thing and allows it, but yet when you open up your shop to others on a commercial basis, you fall in another category. But so they do have their architectural design, and anybody out there has a couple of bucks they'd like to loan them so they can start off and be much appreciated. So down the line, hopefully it works out for you. Any questions of the board? Door County Coastal Byway, the kiosk. Do you have something for us, Chuck?
We've just gone through a bit of a problem, if you will, with some of the information on the kiosk panels. The board felt that by including Grandma Tommy's at the locations was a form of advertising which would be against the rules of the state. So we had to go through some hoops, and we finally got a ruling from the advertising managers from the state that by placing the name Grandma Tommy's as a location does not constitute advertising. So the name will stay on the sign along with the names of other locations, which are mainly forms of reference where to go and visit these places. The farm is one of them, the Door County's, or the UW Extension's experimental station, and the Master Gardener's plot behind it it's no different than having those people. So Grandma Tommy's name will stay on that sign as a location. It just so happens that the arrow pointing "you are here" is in the same location, because that's where the kiosk is located. So some people felt that was an advantage for them. It was ruled wrong. In reviewing the proposed road changes to Forest Road, it does not appear that that proposed change would have any interference with the location of the kiosk as it is presently planned. Waiting for the finals on that, and once that is satisfied, we will start construction, hopefully by the first of the month. The panels are in the process of being finalized. We were told that we may possibly be able to get those that are finalized into a fabrication and get the process going so that some of the kiosks throughout the county can be completed. Door County Tourism's, or the Door County Visitors Center has their framework all installed at this point. They're just waiting for the panels. Theirs was a little different than everybody else's. It turns out it's a square kiosk with a panel on each of the four sides because of the city restrictions and the location they had to place it. Jacksonport has their signboard erected. No panels in that one yet at this point either. So things are starting to move slowly, but they will get done.
Chuck, were they able to get the school, Sevastopol school, on the panel?
They did get it on there, was approved.
Okay. You haven't seen,
I
they did
have a
send you
draft, I can show it to you later.
okay. We have a draft of the panels.
Pardon?
We have a draft of the panels?
Linda will get you a
Yeah.
copy. She got it.
Only as a PDF file,
That's okay.
Okay, in the interest of Grandma Tommy's is the fact that they're allowing us to put our kiosks on their property. and they also helped in the funding of it and will be instrumental in the installation, correct?
Right. There was one little problem with the poles. The kiosk was made to accept a 7 3/4 inch diameter post, and it needed 3 of them. When the Coastal Byways Committee chose to use power poles as those poles, they came in at a minimum of 8 to 8 1/4 inches on the top, and they increase in size by about 2 inches at the bottom. So even if we cut them in half, we're still 1 inch over size on, or 2 inches over on the bottom and 1 on the top. When we placed those into the drawing, there was not enough room for the panels in between without butchering these poles with a chainsaw. So, between Mark Isaacson, myself, and Steve Lobenstein, we decided that we are going to try to find some other poles that are more uniform in diameter and of the proper size. We got a little argument and feedback from the committee on that also, but it does not change the construction design of this kiosk one bit, and we're moving forward with that project. Once we have that, I think we're well on our way.
Are you looking for telephone pole material?
Not necessarily telephone poles, but whatever we can find, something that is like
Rustic.
7.5 inches on the top and no more than 8 at the bottom. On
Because we,
on a roughly 12-foot pole.
This Crossroads property has quite a few poles. I mean, we can go out and measure them if you.
Most of the poles that we get are 30 foot at least, and they're
We got
bigger
some
than 7.5 inches in diameter at the small end,
Way at the tip,
yeah.
yeah.
Somebody has made an offer for some cedar poles. They have I guess it's a logging debarker, which it works like a lathe, and if he runs it through there, he can trim those poles down to the size we want. And they would be uniform all the way through, so.
Gotcha, cedar won't hold up quite.
Either that or you could get
Cedar won't hold
you
up.
could run them through a big sawmill too,
Cedar won't hold up,
you know.
no.
That would be the best way of cutting them down to size, cut them on 4
Yeah, I
sides.
wouldn't recommend using cedar, no.
I would think we should probably execute a trip out to Seattle and look for some lodgepole pines as a board.
I think we spent enough on this that we don't
Okay.
need a trip to Seattle.
All right. well, it's
I
just an
agree with you
idea.
there.
It was a bad idea, but.
Yeah, okay, the bad guy.
Okay, good.
Okay, does that do it?
That does it for that.
Okay. I didn't mean to turn you guys off. Did you want to express yourself at the meeting tonight? All right. The Clark Lake launch ramp is next item. Dan?
Well, basically, the ramp was, the work started last week on Friday. They finished up pretty much of the ramp on Friday, but were unable to complete it, so the ramp was closed over the weekend. The panels and everything were put into place. On Monday, they came back, the DNR wanted the silt screen left in place. So that's one of the reasons they were unable to open the ramp over the weekend. Plus, there was still some stonework that needed to be done on the end of it. At any rate, it opened up, the pier is in. We've had mixed feedback from different people as to whether or not it is easier to launch now than it was before or not. I can say that, having been out at the construction site, seeing the plans, and also working with the construction company, the slope of the ramp is steeper than the prior ramp. The length is the same. The water depth is the same, or maybe an inch deeper than the old ramp. I think the feedback, I've had positive feedback, and some people have had negative feedback. I think the issue might just be around the fact that people power loading in the past had basically flushed out a hole at the end of the ramp. And they were backing off the ramp and settling into that area, which gave their trailer increased depth or the water to float their boat off. When the contractor put in the rock to finalize the stuff, he did so with the silt screen in place. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. So it's possible that there's more rock there than perhaps should have been left. And so maybe that's causing part of the problem. So we'll have to go back out and just reinvestigate what's up with it. I think basically it's in good shape. I just have to figure out what's up from there. Find out if it's really a legitimate concern or what.
Well, it is a legitimate concern. If they can't launch their boats, why put the dang thing in then?
Well, it's,
You know,
it's all
I mean, if
relative.
there's a hole there, what do you care if there's a hole there or not?
Well, I don't.
So,
You know.
I mean, it's all the breaker run that should be there is so that it doesn't push up on the thing.
Right.
And if their tires go back and settle into the mud and they get enough depth, more power to them.
Well,
They were already backing off the ramp because the ramp was too short, they couldn't get the water depth, and shouldn't we have made the ramp longer?
you can't go any deeper. I mean, you can't excavate into, if you change your angle, there's not a lot of water there to begin with, okay?
There's 19 inches at the end of the concrete.
And as you change the slope, you don't gain anything. You're just having to carry it out farther and farther. The hole from power loading, I think, is probably the issue, because I think it's filled in from when they put the last load of gravel in there. Not gravel, because they used the 6-inch rock.
Breaker.
And so I think it's filled in that hole, and as a result, it's filled up. It may have raised the end, I don't know.
Not gonna be happy.
So we'll have to see.
But all the breaker was there for is so that it didn't push the ramp, right?
Correct.
So then why do you need it 6-8 feet out into the,
Well, I'm saying I don't know.
but now can he dig that back out?
Well, we should be able to. We have a permit to do that, but we have to figure out what's up. I don't know.
Okay.
Mike, when this first came up a couple days ago from different people, I talked to Mike, and he was going out there to figure out what was up. I haven't talked to him since. He didn't call me back. So I'll just have to investigate it further and find out what action we need to take. So basically, yeah.
Well, the information I received that the people trying to use it on the weekend were having problems trying to get their pontoons in there and also for capturing their vessels to bring them back out. So,
How many inches of water do you have at
The end of the concrete?
19?
It's got 19
That's
inches.
the maximum?
Well, it fluctuates with the water level of the
Right.
lake, obviously. But yeah, right now, it would probably be pretty close. It's the same water level that was there. I think it's actually an inch deeper than it was before. So I don't think it's an issue with the ramp itself as much as at the end of the ramp. So we'll have to figure out what's up.
Going further out into the lake, you wouldn't gain depth then?
Well, yeah.
You'd have to go out there. There's really not a lot of, it doesn't change a lot. There's not a lot of slope.
Probably have to go out about a quarter mile.
Yeah, I mean, you could,
Well, see, the trouble is when they're backing off, they're backing up, their tires have to be in the water in order to
Float off.
actually shove their boat off the end, because the trailer isn't in the water enough to float the boat. So,
19 inches.
maybe we should add one more board to the,
that would take care of the problem. Except it's already at
but we
the
can't do,
spillway. Already at the spillway.
okay, Dan, you're gonna
We'll figure it out, find out what's up.
meet with the installer and see what we can do. Okay, the first responders insurance coverage is on hold for now. We do have a meeting on the 25th of this month, Thursday, at which we made invites to, we, the county, have made invites to the various towns and groups of EMRs, EMTs, hopefully to come up with some resolve, and we're all in the problem together. And it has to do with the liability and also the workers' compensation insurance in the event that something might go awry and maybe maimed for life, so.
right.
We're looking at it. I don't have an answer for you today. But I do know the guy that's in charge of the county insurance committee, and I'm sure I'll bring something back for next. Forest Road and Highway 4257 intersection and right-of-way, the concerns and options. How did I get past the first one up here? Nobody caught me on
You missed the first one.
landscape application.
Readiness.
All right, let's go to Forest Road and Highway 4257. We did have a meet and greet with the people of the DOT Green Bay. The regional director, Will Dorsey, was here, along with two of his people, David Nielsen and Kurt somebody. They stopped by to take a look at the problem of Forest Road coming to an angle at 4257, and the bigger problem of those that are coming from the north, heading south on the highway, and miss the first turn in the Grand Matamis, and want to turn off onto Forest Road. And as they stop in the traffic lane to execute the left turn, they're being passed, a lot of passing on the shoulder, to the point of a lot of these cars are doing 45 and or better, with some sideways slides, skidding, and near crashes. And the town's take on the whole deal was, let's do something about it now. We had identified the problem back in 2008 before the opening of the business at the site. It has only become more apparent that we were right all along. We are to the point now at which we can apply for, and we have a pretty good handle on what is needed. We intend to pave the southbound shoulder to allow the safe passing on the right, with hopes that it doesn't become a traffic lane. So we do have an application needs to be made, which we will get done this week. And it goes to Green Bay electronically. It can be returned. And with that approval, we can probably see what it's going to do. If we have to be sure with the DOT that we do it to that we comply with their requirements. So what I did today, I contacted Door County Highway. The passing lane at 4257 in Forest would require the removal of the existing blacktop on the two turn lanes that go into the business across the road. And then removal of some 3 inches of gravel to come down with 2 lifts of a total of 3 inches at a width of 10 feet. And the price to get that accomplished, including the excavation first and the barrels that would be needed at the site, including the flagmen or ladies. And they're looking at a $10,000 or $12,000 bill. So my next venture is going to ask how much the state wants to contribute to the cause. And perhaps we can come up with a resolve that'll be something we can all go along with. So
What was your final number?
I'm saying 10 to 12,000 would be the cost.
From the county?
That was the county cost, yeah. I didn't go anywhere else. So with the, once we get the DOT approval, and we had to supply them with the last survey that we had accomplished there and what we had proposed, which was pretty much in compliance with what they wanted to do. If they want to give us some money, we'll get it done this year. If not, Linda will have to go out and sell some raspberries and strawberries and get it accomplished. So anyway, that's where it stands. Okay, the next item then would be the road work 2013. What I did is I prepared a road thing as of July 22. The following has been accomplished to date. The on-to-do list would be the next item, special attention items accomplished, and the continuing without any action to date. And also the signage, the regulatory and directional signage that we need to do in the town. And the idea of which roads have been center lined or edge marked, painting white on some of our town roads. One thing that's rather interesting is the amount of street signs that continue to be missing in our town. Most recently, in addition to others that I mentioned before, Wooden Drive and Whitefish Bay has been removed, including the posts.
Somebody seems to be pulling them over.
Oh, it wasn't you?
I don't need any of them posts.
And Rip and Matthew and Reynolds and Weston and Walker. So if you see anything suspicious, let me know. Once the boys are caught up at their duties over at the park, we'll get some of that signage done. One other contact, yeah, I guess we'll just wait for that one down at Town Road. So I'll make sure Linda gives you a copy of this before we leave tonight. Let's go back up to letter A under continuing business, and that would be the landscape application that Victoria talked about earlier. And Linda, you met with the Christopher from the Department of Agricultural Trade and Consumer Protection. Provide us a copy of the unofficial test.
Well, it should be official.
So,
It says unofficial.
you want to handle that, or should we?
Yes, this Christopher Letault, Lettau, with the Wisconsin Department of Ag, Trade and Consumer Protection, came into the office on Thursday, July 11th, and he did give me a copy of a portion of the code, ATCP 29.56. He pointed out the first paragraph there, paragraph B, no person may remove a warning sign posted until sunset of the day following the landscape application, or if it's restricted entry interval, that would be noted on the sign, whichever is later. I did ask him about going on to any treated area, and he said that you could go on it as soon as it's dry. It's usually within 3 or 4 hours, as long as the signs stay up until sunset on the following day. That was the main thing. That way, even though you can go on the area, say somebody wanted to come and visit the park and they were sensitive or allergic to whatever application, that they would see the sign there and say, oh, I think I'll avoid the park until, next week or whatever. So,
I'm not sure that is the correct interpretation of a restricted entry sign. As I have always interpreted it, any restricted entry sign means that the public cannot re-enter that area unless they they cannot. And the only person that can enter those areas are employees with protective clothing on before that restricted period is up.
Well, we're not gonna argue about who's right and who's wrong. Perhaps you need to be in contact with this guy, or do you have someone else that you?
I think the main thing to come away from with this Act 29 is that when an application is made, when a herbicide application is made to the park, and signs or placards are posted as to restricted entry, in this case was 24 hours from application, that we can not allow anyone in that park within that 24-hour period. Unless they're an employee and they have protective clothing on.
Yeah, but they have do not enter signs and people go the wrong way too.
Pardon?
I said they have do not enter signs and people go the wrong way too.
Well, this is,
Travel down
yeah,
this path
this
again.
is a case of.
I mean, it's a warning. It
Health and
tells you,
safety.
you should be able to go in there under your own risk.
All right, just hang on, let Dick finish.
It's a case of health and safety, really. And what we're doing is we're applying a pesticide to an area and then allowing the public to come in and have access to it. So it behooves us to comply with the placards that are placed by the applicator, which state this area cannot be re-entered for a period of 24 hours.
I do not believe it says that, Dick, and that is the issue at hand. The placards do not say that, and it's the responsibility of the applying company, which is what's been clarified with these people. I did not have the personal conversation with them, but Linda did. I did do a ton of reading on this issue, and if what you're saying is correct, and I'm not here to challenge it, but I'm simply saying what you're saying is correct, and everybody in the county that has a fertilizer company come in and apply it has to seal off the facility for 24 hours. And I talked to enough other municipalities, including Brown County, City of Sturgeon Bay, Sister Bay. This is not the case. The placards that are put on by Spring Green after the application do not state that is a restricted entry interval. And it's their responsibility, knowing the chemicals that they apply, to decide that. It's not mine or yours or the town's. So I think we're beating a dead horse a little bit.
If I also may interject, I did talk to our representative from Spring Green that same day that Christopher was here. I don't know if he called me or if he popped in, he was in the area. I asked him if any product that we used required restricted reentry, and he said no.
So the placards are placed up there with an interval, a reentry interval that we will not.
There is no
It's
reentry.
not a
The
placard
reentry,
said-
it's for your benefit.
You can do anything you want, placing placards and everything else. If the public does not read it and abide by it, there's nothing we can do about it. If we see them in the park where they should not be, we can ask them to leave or tell them that they're
Yeah.
violating the placard. But we've had the same question and answer with spraying orchards.
That
You
is
cannot
restricted.
fence off your orchard and police it to keep everybody out when you spray. So you put the signs up. If the people refuse to read and obey the signs, you did your part according to the law, and the rest is their problem.
We did restate to the town employees that the placards are not to be removed regardless, and they understand that. And we've also instructed them not to go about cutting the grass and make some other modifications just to be on the safe side of the topic.
Yeah.
But the placards are placed based on the company, and
There's an underlying issue that we've debated before, and we'll debate it again. And the only thing I can say is that when it comes to our budget meeting, certainly I think we want to discuss this whole application of herbicides during high-use periods.
All right, well, it's your opinion versus the dead cat people? Is So maybe we do better off to invite someone to our next meeting. Okay. Any other comment, question? Okay, new business items, discussion and action. Elevation and restoration of the grader at the town hall. Situation is, in other communities, they elevate and put on display. And I'm told this is a grader that used to be the official of the town of Sevastopol. And also, we did have a photo of what it would look like as it was new. So it may be to our benefit to take a look at it to see whether or not we want to restore it first and then put it up in the air. You can go any place around the county and you find others have either put it up right down the road here to the north. You'll see other pieces of farm machinery that are up in the air. You have one threshing machine that's kind of down in the hollow, and you don't see that visibly from the road. So we all thought it a good idea that we bring this back to the town in the town hall, and my look at it is if we're proud that we once owned it, we could have it restored to the original look. I happen to know a couple of people that might be able to sandblast, paint, and also resurrect any missing parts. I could go for a bid to see what it would take. It's not a project that we need to accomplish tomorrow, but it's for the future. If that's an item that you garners your attention or your interest, most likely than not, we could budget some money for it. I don't know, Laddie, you have a copy of it, or? We'll give you a copy.
Do we own the grader?
The rest is.
Okay.
The grader was on the Stager farm for years.
Right.
And it was used on a number of different roads, and it ended up being stored there. And a number of years ago, I was approached by Chuck asking if we would be interested in having it back. And so the park committee took upon the task of getting it back here and ended up out in front of the town hall. And to Leo's point, you see a lot of these things completely done, and there's a nice one down in Michigan, if you've ever been down there, that's in a nice setting, it's all, done up.
Swap it out.
Just go get it.
The issue is, we should maybe take this down there at night and leave it.
Yeah,
and
bring that
take
nice
theirs.
one back.
But,
Go down in midnight requisition, right?
I think it's a worthwhile project, but at the point right now, we don't have the finances to do it. But this might be a project that maybe the Historic Society or some other group or groups of people might wish to take upon themselves to start drumming up some funds to have it restored and replaced out front.
It's here for your thoughts, and if you don't think it's worth the effort, I'm not gonna do the research on it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how much money someone might think, because it certainly needs to be sandblasted. The painting part would be the easy stuff, but sandblasting alone would be, I think, a significant chunk of money, getting it ready to paint.
I also got a call from Shirley Geisel this afternoon. She saw this on the agenda, and of course, the Geisels used it on that road too, so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Northeastern Power Association would take it on, that'd be terrific, I mean.
She mentioned that,
There's a
if
little
we
bit of
ever-
difference
Maybe
between
we could
just
sell it back to them.
cleaning it up and painting it and giving it a restoration. And if you're going to restore it to its original, you don't just go and blast away on it and find some spare parts from something else to make it look good again, so. Something to keep in mind.
I think all the parts are there except for maybe one piece.
We're missing the horses.
That's exactly what and it was
I know where you
actually
can
two
find some of them.
horses. Two horses.
It was,
The seat was missing.
the seat's missing.
The seat is missing?
The seat's missing,
Well, that we can get off the one at Michigan.
the front seat, the back seat's on it, I
The
believe.
back seat's on the front seat.
All right, hang on to it. Let me know what you think. Next item would be the town roads abandonment and having it on the agenda. Resurrected a couple of comments already. Wanted to know what it was all about. And I think it came from our road inspection this year, in that we did have a problem with some of the roads that we wondered whether or not we wanted to maintain them. I thought I brought along a list that we had prepared way back then that we thought were candidates for abandonment, and they would be the Steger-Strahan Road, Fleur Road from the south of Haverly, the Today Road off of 42 to the east, Fish Road to the north of there, Rudy Road, which has access off of Highway 57. And then the old highway road, not the one that is immediately adjacent to Culver's. However, it'd be the one that has an access at the Flanagan distributing parking lot and would enter onto Highway 57 immediately across from Forest Road. We do have other gravel roads that we could take a look at. However, I don't think those are pretty much serviceable at this point. But we were of the opinion that perhaps we did not want to spend any more money because we do, Old Highway Road is a two-wheel path. Rudy Road is a paved road to the farmhouse on it. Fish Road is the same. The Today Road to the east is gravel. Fleur Road is also gravel, and it goes to a hunting preserve and or, what do you call that, Dan? Is that a own membership?
No, Dorland Preserve goes back in there.
Road, and talking to Wade Geisel today, that was their only access to their back field, and the regular process would be that on an abandonment, you give it to the immediate owners or owner, and the cost of signing it over sometimes is, the juice is not worth the squeeze, I guess, and the problem here would be that their access to the back field that they harvest and maintain has two different owners on either side. I think a Steger on the one side and a shop on the other. So basically, it would be, if they wouldn't allow the use of the road, we would be perhaps in violation by not having access to it. I do know that we've had one other activity in which we abandoned a road. I don't know what the cost was, but it was the easiest way out for the town on a development. And it was easy for us to get out of it, solely that didn't cost the town a whole lot of money. So we'll toss it out there. I'm sure we're gonna get comments on whether or not we want to pursue this. But it was done with the idea, Dan, I think,
What was my idea?
maybe we could save some money and not, because we do have to go out and grade them on occasion. We've paved 2 of them, we plow them in the wintertime, we cut the grass in the ditch. So,
All these, not all the roads.
but
Well, certainly not the old highway road that goes to Flanagan's, we don't do anything with that.
we mowed it this year for the first time in a couple.
We mowed it?
We had a request.
We mowed it, and also, it gets to be a little bit hairy when the Flanagan people and the Zons think that that road should be gravel. So in the past, we'll dump 2 or 3 or 4 loads of gravel, and that requires a grading. So it comes off of Gordon Road and goes down to that old abandoned road. One of the problems with abandoning that road is, I believe, federal monies, grant monies were acquired or used
We lose.
many years ago, and Bill Schuster used it as a project for his college class, building the bridge.
Those roads are also on our gas tax map. So, you know, we do get, they are increasing the per mile stipend that we get on that. It could
Well, I
be,
think the-
I think it's 1,900 or 2,100 or going up, so.
Are we legally liable for, I mean, if we say that those are roads that the town maintains, and we don't maintain them, are we liable then for someone going down that road and damaging their vehicle or anything like that?
Don't give anybody any ideas.
No, I mean,
There are communities where you will see signs that say this road is not maintained. South Dakota has a ton of them that'll have a sign. I know just one place where you see a lot of them. But it was purely a conversation about economics. If we're spending more money to maintain a road than we get for gas tax, then maybe we ought to take a look at it if it doesn't cost us more money to abandon it. If we're gonna abandon a road that's going to impact 3 different farmers, I understand that, and obviously we wouldn't wanna do that. But the trade-off is, these roads are, what, less than a quarter of a mile? So, you know, if you put them all together, we don't get $1,900, and we probably spend far more than that to maintain them.
This
So,
would be an excellent question to pose to Wisconsin Towns Association Lee Taroney on Thursday evening.
there you go.
You make sure you write that one down.
Time stop.
Yeah, I've got it. What do you mean it's done? Okay. Well, it's pretty close. It's only about 12 minutes. Okay, we'll keep it as an item, and perhaps we can find out what kind of loss of dollars.
Question on the list of roads here, on the bottom I've got a note, it says private roads with a little hash mark in front of it, and then there are roads throughout the list that are marked that way.
yeah, right.
That was done by,
Is that indicating that all those roads are private roads?
Linda
Yes.
went through that list, and
Yes,
she's
they are.
responsible for
Are
everything.
not
that-
some of them town property as access to the water on Glidden Drive?
Some are, and those are not marked, Chuck. For instance, if you look at Deer Path Lane,
Right?
that is
What-
town access.
I'm looking at Balsam and Beach and Birch
Yeah,
Lanes.
those belong to the drive. The association.
Drive
Correct.
Association, really?
Oh,
Yep. Some belong to the town and some belong to the association.
yeah. well. In the case of they're being used as private private roads, I don't know how we can be responsible for, how can we be responsible for maintaining a private road?
We
These
don't.
We don't maintain the private roads. They're,
No.
they're
Just
road
listed.
names
They're just listed.
with fire numbers associated with them, but they're private roads.
Not even roads in many cases.
Well, in the case
They're
of
just-
Glidden Drive, they're just access trails.
Yeah, the list that you see there is for the group over at the county and also for the 911 calls that go out. So. FYI.
Lots of roads.
Which leads us to the next item, Door County Unit of the Wisconsin Towns Association. We have a meeting here at this town hall on Thursday, July 25, beginning at 7 PM. So as Linda correctly stated, that'd be a very good question for Lee, town's attorney. She's included the agenda and what the topics are going to be. If you're not shooting trap and or anything else, then more than welcome to attend.
Is a question I would propose is, can they change that to a Monday night? Thursday nights.
School board.
Everybody's got different
No,
meetings.
school board's a Thursday, but not this Thursday.
Okay.
There's too many town meetings on Monday nights, other town meetings.
Well, what they try to do is catch a happy medium that everybody can make it, or a majority of them. So if I can entice you, there will be refreshments. And they're coming from Door County,
Custom meats.
yeah.
Yes.
Great.
All right, no other item. Correspondence would be next. Did you have any question on any of those?
None from me.
It'd be worth mentioning the coastal management program. The Lake Michigan, or Lake Superior, Lake Michigan stakeholders, Great Lakes Water Levels Community Workshop. Thursday, August 8th at 6 till 8:30 PM at the crossroads at Big Creek in Sturgeon Bay. Anybody interested in information on lake levels?
I think I know somebody that might attend.
Park Lake.
Okay, the last couple of pages were the boys of snow riding the storms. The winter that would not end with some old-time equipment that had to be used and an update of what. So if we think about the highway department not being very aggressive and not doing a lot, take a look. Also an indicator that the George K. Penny Park dedication, the old quarry park will be dedicated to George. And that's at 1 o'clock on Saturday, July 28th.
Sunday.
I'm sorry. That's what happens when you get programs. Sunday on the 20th. And the last page then would be the successor to George. And Eric comes from the western part of the state. Also has a good handle on what can and will be done, or should be done. So if you see him around, or want to meet him, be there on the 20th. Approval of the vouchers, bills, and claims would be next. Question, comment?
Move that we approve vouchers, bills, and claims June 18, 2013 through July 22, 2013.
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the vouchers as they've gone around. Everyone had an opportunity.
Yes.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Door County Unit WTA will be here this Thursday on the 25, and the second installment of real estate taxes are due on July 31. That's always pleasant news. The Door County Fair will be upon us August 1st to the 4th. If you have any agenda items for next meeting, I'd take them now. Otherwise, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Are we gonna put on an update to the Clarks Lake ramp on there?
We can do that.
Okay.
Maybe we could get somebody from the Department of Agriculture to come and explain the pesticide applications and warnings and so forth.
Okay, let's try that. Do you know anybody down there, Dick, that you'd,
This is a new person, he's been there maybe a couple of years as far as I know. Yeah. This is our contact. So he would be the one to contact.
all right, very good. Anything else?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Wonderful.
Second?
Motion made by Dan and seconded by John. To adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. There's three of us.